classes. So some of my classes have been in person and some of them have been completely online, and others have been kind of both. So optional. If you wanted to come into class, you could, with masks, of course. And then some people would like Zoom in into the class. I know Wartburg College got these new systems called OWL. It's like OWL, and it's kind of like a device that has like a wide camera so that people on Zoom could see the professor talking to the class. Okay. So both fall and this semester, I've had all three. Some of my classes have been just online, some have been hybrid, and some have been all in person. So other than that, I am in symphonic band and dance team as well. So in the fall, for band, we just split into sections. So percussion, I'm in percussion, and we just played with each other. We didn't play with the whole band. And then for dance team, we didn't even have practice at all. So it's a little different now. So now for band, we all play as a whole ensemble, but we're very spread out. And then for dance team, we practice together as well, but obviously with masks on and everything. But I think that explains.
How do you stay motivated for all that? You know, like I'm assuming you're one of the people that, well, I don't know, maybe people are different. I don't like online learning. I hate it. I hate going on Zoom, but I've gotten so accustomed to doing these interviews. So I just did an interview before you. Like, it's just rapid now. Like I just don't know, but yeah.
I mean, in some cases, it's really convenient. So if you need, I know when I was in my journalism class, it was very easy to just be like, let's just do a Zoom really quick. So that when people don't have to block off a whole like hour of time to try to like meet somewhere. So it's really convenient. And the lazy side of me loves Zoom for class. But at the end of the day, I do enjoy my in-person classes more. You know, it's convenient when you're not like feeling the best and you're kind of like drained. So it's nice to Zoom in those situations, but overall, I don't really enjoy it, like you said. But it's all right. I'm glad that they're not entirely online. If all my classes were, then I honestly probably wouldn't be here right now. So I'm glad that I do have some my more important classes are in person still. So
how has your mental health been throughout this whole process? Has it gone up and down? I assume that's kind of the story for everybody. Have you suffered? I mean, you don't have to give me like extreme details, but
no, you're good. I'm actually pretty blessed in that I don't have any like actual diagnosed, like I don't have anxiety or depression or anything. Otherwise, I would probably be plummeting right now. So thank goodness I don't have those. But I would say kind of summer going into fall, I was kind of contemplating whether I actually needed to come back to school, just because it was kind of like, I don't know, just looking at all the things I was doing and trying to figure out if I could just like do some freelance work and get by. But I think winter semester has been a little bit better, just in regard to like, I think we're doing more and kind of cutting back. Obviously still like being safe and healthy and everything, but it's getting better. I'd say my motivation coming back from the summer to the fall was kind of low, but right now it's kind of, I'm used to it at this point, so it's fine. So thankfully I haven't had like many struggles with my mental health. But
so wait, you were just thinking about like, you know, getting ready and working, like you wanted to start working instead of finishing school?
Well, yeah, so I have a small business that I started in March. So I sell apparel, and it kind of went pretty big on social media. And I'm also a wedding videographer, and I do freelance graphic design for businesses as well. So
okay, what you're doing classes and dance and percussion, and oh, by the way, I got a business and it's popping. What the hell?
Yeah, so I was just, without school, I wouldn't have gotten to that point because I learned, you know, those skills from going to school. But, you know, I'm a junior now, so I like obtained those for 2 years. And then I was kind of like, I technically don't need my degree, I don't think, but I am learning a lot. So it's kind of like the opposite from other people. Sometimes I hear like, I'm not learning anything, but I just need that degree. It's kind of the opposite for me. I feel like I'm actually learning a ton, and I may not need that degree, but I'm actually learning the like hard skills that I need, like the videography and the PR and the graphic design and everything. So,
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I can give you more details after, like if you want to look me up.
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure. Because I actually have a podcast. So I got like my own business too. So maybe one time we'll do a podcast together.
Yeah, that'd be so fun. Yeah, it's pretty new, and honestly, we're still trying to kind of define it and make it established. It started this semester. So over Christmas break, Joe Dorrance is the one who brought it up to us and kind of asked different professors who they recommended. So it's called Public Health Ambassadors, and it's a group of public health majors and minors and some like PR, graphic design, journalist type people like me, just so we can have like the knowledge and then get it out there with like events and press releases and kind of like the more social media. So it's kind of a team of like, there's about 4 public health and like 4 people like me. So we kind of just teamed up, and we didn't want to make it like super like just COVID, because that's at the end of the day, it's like there's more to health than just like the virus. So we do want to make sure we're posting and creating events for people's mental health as well. So we're basically just there to inform people on like the current like updates of the vaccine and like protocols and Wartburg guidelines, but also like provide, like we did a hot cocoa and donut event for free. Like students can just come in and grab something. And there was like a fun activity where you had to, it was around Valentine's Day. So they like guessed how many candy hearts were in the jar, and then we gave prizes out. So it's kind of just overall like mental health and like actual health combined. And we're just trying to balance between the two so that there's like both represented. If that makes sense.
Did you guys get your spring break taken away?
Yeah, so we don't have a spring break, but the school implemented 2 mental health days. Yeah. So those were both in February, about 10 days apart, so they weren't very spread out. But we did have like 2 random days where we just got class off. Yeah. One was a Thursday and one was like a Wednesday, so that the schedules were a little different, because they don't really want to do breaks in the middle of the semester in case people go home and get sick and then come back. But we do have a break called Tour Week, and it's at the end of April, I believe. So in between April, and we have a May term in May, so we have that little break. But other than that, we haven't had any breaks. So yeah, that's why we want to really push the mental health and have fun activities safely, of course. But we're just trying to post motivational things and provide fun little spaces for people to do, since there's nothing really going on. Just trying to think of creative ways to get people to get a break from class and the boredom of their dorm room.
Yeah. Have you talked to any students that have participated in these events? Do you think it's working for them?
We did a survey, and that is actually like looked at more from someone else. So I haven't even looked at that. But the top results, because one of the questions on the survey was like, what do you want from us, basically? And almost all of them said like more events. Yeah. So the hot cocoa and donut thing was the first one we did since we just got back in January, and that was like around Valentine's Day of February. But we're planning more of those, just because people are bored, I think. And even though it's really simple, I think people like it's something to look forward to. So for sure, we're gonna do more of those.
I was gonna say, like, what type of events can you hold? Because you don't have too many people in one place to risk, getting COVID. Mm-hmm. So like, what are you able to do?
It's tricky. We were thinking of doing something like in an auditorium spread out on the chairs, like something on a stage. It's just, we're trying to step away from like the Zoom things, because obviously there's a ton of stuff you could do, like Kahoot on Zoom and stuff like that. But it's just kind of like, okay, we're on Zoom all day long. We don't want to do Zoom.
Kids are getting tired of looking at the screen all day.
Yeah. The whole point is that people get up and come out and do stuff. And it's hard in the winter as well because that eliminates all outdoors. So it's warming up. So hopefully we can do more stuff like in the campus lawn. But basically we just have to say, like, keep your mask on, grab your donut and spread out. Doing it in big areas like an auditorium or like a whole like dorm like main area helps. So we've just been relying on like space so that people can be spread out.
Okay, this is kind of like completely switching topics, but
you're fine.
Something that I've asked like many students that I've talked to, because I kind of think it fits into the whole mental health angle, being around people, socializing. How's your dating life been? People need that validation of having a significant other people that find them attractive. I've heard people say like how so many people are relying on like dating apps right now, which I don't know if that's the best way to go about dating because at some point you might meet that person, but you don't. People can lie over the phone, and do you really get like a genuine feel for a person? I mean, even now, like this is a step above like texting or messaging on Facebook. What's your dating life been like?
I'm kind of a bad example because I've had a boyfriend here for 2 years now. So I don't really need to, I can just go to his room and I'm not really actively. But it is hard. Something that our group actually tried to think about was something for the freshmen, because they haven't met the other, people. Their floor is just like only girls or only boys. So technically they're not supposed to like be mingling or going out to parties or anything, which is how I met my boyfriend freshman year. So we are trying to brainstorm something that would not be awkward for them to try to like just meet the people in their grade. But it's been pretty tricky because the only thing we can think of is like a Zoom speed dating, but then it's like, who would even, like, personally, I wouldn't want to do that. That's just weird. So honestly, I don't have a good answer for that. It just kind of sucks. But I mean, maybe when it gets warmer out, we can do something outdoors just so people can actually like physically see each other, not do the Zoom thing. But we have been trying to think about that.
Again, I mean, do you have conversations then with other students? Is this like a concern? I feel like this is a big area to talk about. That's a huge part, not only for young people's lives, but it is a part of college, is mingling. And, maybe potentially finding a significant other. So do students talk about that with you?
I mean, not really. I think it just is tricky, but it's not really like, I think people are just like still have their hopes that when it gets warmer we'll be able to do things more. And the people that are really concerned about it, obviously there's no parties here, there's definitely still things going on. So I think the people that are really concerned about it find a way. But yeah, I haven't heard anyone really talking about it, I guess, like upfrontly. But I do think it is like holding them back, like a year, like all last half of the year, and then all right now you can't really do that as frequently. So I haven't really heard anyone talk about it, but I don't know.
Well, like you were saying, the freshmen, that's actually kind of where I got the idea for the story, because I mean, every experience is compromised at college, but I feel like freshmen are the more interesting batch of people because they have really nothing to compare to. They're told by their friends and family members who have been to college, like, oh, it's this great thing, you get to do all these things, like meet all these people, go to parties, and then they compare, and it's like, it's not really like that this year. It's completely different. And I mean, your first few weeks at college, I know Iowa State has like Destination Iowa State. I know Simpson, we have a few things. I don't know what Wartburg does, but you're asked to get out and meet people and get out of your comfort zone like right away. And I don't know if that really happened this school year.
From my experience as a freshman, I did a thing called, I think it was called SOAR, like SOAR is like a program they do. It's optional, but like incoming freshmen have a chance to stay either during the day or you can do the overnight. And that's kind of where I met. It's kind of like a little camp. It's like overnight and you do fun stuff. And I probably met like 20 girls and 20 guys during that, and it was pretty fun. And then I know a lot of the sports like cheer and football come early, and they kind of bond before everyone else does. My roommate's a cheerleader, and a lot of my guy friends are football players. So like when I came in freshman year, a little later than them, like my roommate was already like friends with all the football guys, and like she introduced me to them. Then we got to hang out like in the basement of the dorm room and watch movies and play ping pong and stuff. So that was my experience. I don't know about the other people because we can still do stuff. You just have to have a mask on. So maybe they have had fun times, but
again, switching topics, what has your routine been like? You said you don't really suffer or haven't suffered this year with mental health. How do you structure your days? How do you get all those things done?
Mm-hmm. I get this question a lot because I think people probably think I'm really like type A and organized, but I'm actually not. And I think that's why I get things done, because I don't like put pressure on myself. Like I pretty much learned over quarantine that people can wait. Yeah. So like if there's something that is expected of me, people have been way more lenient on like kind of like hustle culture. So if there's something that I'm supposed to have done for my business or for a class or something, I have peace of mind that it's okay if it's not finished. I try my best to get it done on time. I don't know. I'm not really, in the back of my head, I kind of have like a priority list of stuff I need to do. But like I said, I don't really have that pressure of like, I need to get this done right now. Because if I did have that, it would kind of like stress me out and make me not want to do it. But I don't have that headspace anymore. So I think it's hard to say because I don't really I write down kind of like a to-do list. But like I said, I'm not really strict with my actual schedule. I just don't have expectations. I kind of say like, okay, I can only handle like for my business, I'm only going to pack orders on this day of the week. I'm not going to worry about it every single day, doing bits and pieces every day. I'm just doing it on this week. Or like if I have a group assignment, or if I'm I'm in a group where we have to run a social media account. So we just have like kind of like a grid, and we say, okay, Skylar, you are Wednesday this day. And I just make it ahead of time and post it when it's, I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place, but
yeah. Well,
I don't know. I'm not that organized.
No, I get it. I think you need a balance of both, because in my experience, I've always been like an OCD type of person. So for me, it was like everything had to be structured. Everything had to be, and that's good to some degree. But when you make your life so structured and so routine, you don't leave any place for like spontaneity or like and relationships, because you're so focused on getting things done and being in a certain place, and you also don't value who you are in the moment. So I think it's good to have a balance of both. Like you should have an idea of what you need to accomplish, but I would say maybe prioritize it. Like what are the things that are important that need to be done, and then all those other things that I can do but don't need to be done today, push that to a different day, a different
And I would say like last year I was like that. But then over the course of like the summer and then fall, I kind of learned, like obviously get it done. But I was the type of person that was like, get it done early, right on time for them. But it's like, sometimes they don't even need it that fast. It's like, just if you can't get to it that day, just do it tomorrow. Like it'll be okay. With class, it's a little more tight. But my professors are lenient. So if I was actually like, there's no way I can do this, then in the back of my mind, I know that it would be okay. So I think that's why I get things done. It's because I'm not stressed out. Kind of like go with the flow,
Yeah. Yeah, you got to find ways to reduce stress. And it's odd that you don't feel as stressed during COVID times. It seems like you're less stressed than last year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think not stressed, but I think my personality has changed. I just think I'm less like grind mode, if that makes sense. Like I like being productive, but just like like, what's the reason to like hurry, do more. Like, I'm doing a lot, but I'm going at my own pace, and it's okay. Like, I don't know.
See,
so
that's the nasty thing about our culture, is that they taught us that we had to, you know, have all these things going for us, even if we were sacrificing like our mental health or clarity, or, you know, just relaxing. And I think I agree with you. That's something that I've kind of peeled back on. Like, about COVID, I've told myself, like, hey, dude, it's okay to not be perfect. Like, I have a hard time. Like, I'm a perfectionist, so everything happens a certain way. But you know, even this semester, like, I wouldn't check my phone like 2 hours before bed because I didn't want to look at a screen. I'm like, you know what? If that, you know, getting on my phone and connecting with people, if that's like one of the few ways that I'm able to, like, I should do that, you know? Even
like, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So I've gotten better at, you know, just not worrying about that.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I guess one more thing. I mean, and we can maybe talk about this later. I'm curious about your business. Like, what does that entail?
Yeah, I can chat it if you want to like look at it on your phone. But basically over quarantine, so I'm pretty creative, and I'm a wedding videographer, and a lot of those got canceled in like March, April. And honestly, they're still kind of few and far between right now. So I couldn't film weddings at the pace I was filming them. So I was pretty bored. So I started like digitally drawing like designs. And I started with making stickers because I could print them myself. And then after that, I was kind of like, okay, what else could I do with this? And then I started making T-shirts. And I was posting on Instagram and TikTok. And it went viral on TikTok. And I got, in the end of June, I got like over 100 orders, like randomly at midnight. It was like ding, 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 ding. And I was like, I don't even know if I can do this that fast. So I had to turn it in. And I was actually going to Colorado. I traveled during COVID, but my boyfriend lives in Colorado, so I had already bought that, and I was leaving like the end of June, and then I was flying like July 1st or something, and it was that night that they were like dinging, and I was like, I'm literally leaving, like I can't do these. So I had to shut it off because my mom was like, that's literally going to take you like a month. Like, and so I shut off the orders. And then when I got there, we like ordered supplies to the house because I was staying for a whole month. And then he helped me and we made all the stuff. I have TikToks of it if you want to scroll down and watch. But yeah, and now after that, we handmade them with a material called heat transfer vinyl. So we had the designs cut out and then we heat pressed it. But now I get them screen printed from like local businesses so that I just like get them already made and then I send them out. Because after that, I was like, there's no way I can do this at this pace. So it's definitely not viral now. It's like a normal pace. But yeah, so now I get stuff made and I have a little workshop in the dorm like closet. My boyfriend has an apartment style dorm, so there's a pretty big storage closet and I put all my stuff in there. There's videos on TikTok of it if you want to look at it. But
so wait, yeah, clothing, like you make designs and then you press it into like T-shirts and different things.
Yeah, so it's like basically like graphic tees. So yeah.
So what, like when it blew up on TikTok, what was like did you just have one design and then everybody loved that design? Or like, did you have like a few different ones you were working with?
Yeah. So the video was of one shirt, me making it, but the orders were pretty much like anything. So it was a shirt that said "Feeling Good Like I Should," like the song.
Yeah.
And it was like a sun, and then it had like the text below it, and it was me like pressing the different layers, and it takes a long time to do that, and you can't like dry the shirts or anything because it's like a surface material. It's not ink, it's kind of like something else. So now I get them like ink, like screen printed, like every other shirt like that you're wearing now, I'm sure screen printed, so that the local businesses can just do it instead of me like physically like pressing the material on. But that was the video that went viral. But the orders were kind of just like once people went to my site, then they like picked whatever. But
so can somebody come to you with their own, like, say they have a logo for their podcast and they want to create t-shirts, can they give that to you and then you'll make them?
I don't really do that just because it would cost more for me to do that than it would like a local screen printing place.
Yeah.
So like I could, but it's just like not cost effective because it's like handmade from like me rather than like a big place with like the huge machines. But technically yes, but I don't do that often just because it's like a lot of like extra side things. But if you need help, I would help you out.
Yeah, like a few months ago I had talked to, there's a place called Embark Inc. here in town in Indianola, and she was trying to help me with because I have a really, I think, probably the best logo in the game of podcast, and I wanted to start doing merch. But she said, with how my logo was designed, so my cousin had created it, and I guess it was, however she did it with like the glare, like, I mean, you could probably go check out my podcast and then you'll see the logo. Somehow they couldn't do it with the current system that they had. Like it wouldn't turn out right. So then she tried to turn it on to like other places, but she never actually got back to me. She never sent me those locations. And so I've been sitting on this idea since last fall. Like I was literally in class, and then I thought, like, hey, it'd be kind of cool to do merch. Like I know not a ton of people know what my podcast is, but merch is always a great option to diversify what you can offer to people. And once people see the visual, then they'll attach, and you say, nurture the mind. That's the name of the podcast. Oh, okay. Now I see the visual. There's merch. That's crazy. Let's go watch the podcast. So,
yeah, my place, I think he's out of Ames and Ankeny. So I can give you his. He's really cool. His name's Matt. It's called Elite Screen Printing and Design, and he does like a ton of Iowa State stuff. But there's also a site called Printful, and they make everything and ship it for you. So I can type those in there. Yeah, so like Printful is like a whole system where like people can order online and then they do everything so that I've never tried it, but I think it's called like, I know a lot of people do use it.
Write that down.
But I will also type like Matt's contact.
All right, Skylar. Well, I think that's all the questions I have. It was great talking to you. I really do think we should do a podcast, though.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what your schedule is like. I mean, are you pretty then busy through the rest of the semester?
No, my classes first semester is a little heavier. But right now I'm literally in theater, religion, PE. I'm taking like 2 communications classes. So right now I'm kind of doing those like silly like requirement ones. Even though I'm a junior, I'm still taking those. But my Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are really open, and then Tuesday, Thursday are like my communication classes. So yeah.
All right, Skylar. Take care. Have a good day.
You too.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.